Place 3 bowls of raw pap. Do not speak to the children. Never look at the ceiling. And once you enter this house,
If a woman in a velvet gown offers you 2 million naira to sit in a house and watch children you cannot see until midnight, my brother, my sister, take off your shoes. Do not just walk. Do not even jog. Fly. Use the wings that God gave your ancestors. If you don't have wings, borrow a bicycle. Just get out of there. But Titi did not run. She stood there like a statue in front of a fountain. Why? Because Sapa, that legendary Nigerian poverty that follows you like a shadow, had already finished her. Titi was a brilliant student, but a student with a balance of 0.52 naira in her bank account is not a student. She is a miracle. Her younger brother, Obina, had just been admitted to the University of Ibadan to study medicine. The school fees were staring at them like a hungry lion. Her mother, a widow who sold roasted corn by the roadside, had developed a cough that sounded like a generator failing in the rain. That morning, Titi's landlord, Baba Oloye, had removed the roof of their kitchen. "Titi," he had screamed, waving a rusty cutlass, "if I don't see my 6 months' rent by tomorrow, I will remove the door to your room next. You people will sleep outside and negotiate with the mosquitoes." Titi sat on the floor of their roofless kitchen, looking at the clouds. She felt like a failure in a customized jersey, a daughter who couldn't buy cough syrup for her mother, a sister who was watching her brother's dreams turn into dust. She wiped a tear and whispered, "God, even if it is to wash the feet of a masquerade, I will do it. Just give me a way out." My people, be careful what you pray for. The universe has a very wicked sense of humor. Suddenly, a notification popped up on her cracked phone screen. It was an ad on a quick jobs telegram group. Urgent. Babysitter needed for 1 night. High-end estate in Banana Island. Pay 2 million naira. Requirements: must be brave, must follow instructions, no questions asked. 2 million naira for 1 night? Titi's brain did the math faster than a calculator. That was rent. That was school fees. That was a new roof. That was even enough to buy Baba Oloye's house and give him a quit notice for fun. She clicked apply before her common sense could remind her that Banana Island does not usually pay the price of a brand new car for someone to watch a baby for 5 hours. Within 10 minutes, a black SUV, the kind that makes you want to apologize for being poor just by looking at it, pulled up to her street. The neighbors came out, mouths open. The car was so clean you could use the bumper to apply your makeup. The window rolled down. Inside sat Madame Kofo. She looked like she was made of money and expensive perfumes. Her head wrap was taller than Titi's future ambitions. Her eyes were hidden behind dark sunglasses, but her skin was pale, almost like she hadn't seen the sun since the 1960s. "Are you Titi?" Madame Kofo asked. Her voice was cold like a sachet of water pulled straight from a deep freezer. "Yes, ma," Titi replied, her legs shaking. Madame Kofo opened a leather briefcase. Inside were bundles of 1,000 naira notes, crisp, new. They smelled like a central bank heist. "This is 1 million, Madame Kofo said. "Half now, half when I return at 6 a.m. If you survive, if you do a good job." "If I survive," Titi whispered. Madame Kofo didn't answer. "Get in. Time is money and money is life." As the car sped towards Banana Island, passing the gates and the security guards who looked like they were trained by the Avengers, the atmosphere changed. The bright lights of Lagos faded. The air became heavy. They arrived at a mansion that looked more like a fortress. It was painted a deep blood red color that the architect probably called sunset crimson, but Titi knew a crime scene color when she saw one. There were no photos on the walls, only empty frames. "Listen to me, Titi," Madame Kofo said, turning. Her sunglasses were off now. Her eyes were a strange milky yellow. "I am going to a very important party, a party for people who no longer breathe. My children are upstairs. They are sensitive. If you want to see the sun tomorrow, you must follow 3 rules." Titi swallowed hard. She felt a chill crawl up her spine, but she squeezed the bundle of money in her bag. Poverty is a great motivator, my people. It can make a man dance with a crocodile. "Rule number 1, Madame Kofo hissed. At exactly 9 p.m., you must place 3 bowls of raw pap on the dining table. Do not add sugar. Do not add milk. Do not look at who is eating it." "Okay, no milk, no sugar, just raw pap. Got it." Rule number 2. The woman leaned in so close Titi could smell incense and decay. "The children will try to talk to you. They will ask you to play hide and seek. Do not respond. Not a word, not a grunt. If you speak to them, they will take your voice. And believe me, they need a new one." Titi's heart was now beating like a talking drum at a traditional wedding. "Don't speak. Silence is golden. I understand, ma." And rule number 3, the woman's voice dropped to a whisper that sounded like a grave opening. "This is the most important. Whatever you hear, whatever you feel, never, ever look at the ceiling. Keep your eyes on the floor or the walls. If you look up, you will see what is watching you. And if you see it, it will be the last thing your eyes ever behold." Titi felt like she was in a dream. "Ma, what is on the ceiling?" "Death, Titi. Death is on the ceiling." Before Titi could ask another question, the massive mahogany door slammed shut and the sound of 7 different locks clicked, echoed through the empty hall. Clack, 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 clack. Titi was alone. She looked at the grand staircase leading up to the darkness of the 2nd floor. The silence was so loud it was ringing in her ears. She checked her phone. 8:45 p.m. 2 million naira, she whispered to herself, trying to stop her knees from knocking. 2 million naira and I can buy a house for my mother. I can buy a car. I can buy a whole goat and eat it alone. Just stay calm, Titi. Don't look up. Don't talk. Just feed the ghosts. She went into the kitchen. It was huge, but the fridge was empty except for a large container of white raw pap. She prepared the 3 bowls. Her hands were shaking so much, the spoons were clinking against the ceramic like a frantic Morse code. As she walked to the dining table, the temperature in the house suddenly dropped. She could see her own breath. It came out in thick white clouds. She placed the bowls on the table. Tick, tick, tick. The grandfather clock in the corner struck 9 p.m. Suddenly, she heard it. Pat, pat, pat. The sound of small, wet feet hitting the marble. But the sound wasn't coming from the stairs. It was coming from behind her. Titi remembered rule number 1. Do not look at who is eating. She stared at her own toes. She noticed her toenail polish was chipping. Titi, focus on the toes. The toes are your friends. The toes are safe. She heard a chair slide back. Scree. Then came the sound of slurping. A loud, wet, hungry slurping sound. It sounded like something with a very long tongue was licking the bowls clean. Titi's skin crawled. A drop of sweat ran down her nose, but she didn't move. Then, a tiny, cold hand touched her arm. The skin felt like wet leather. "Auntie," a voice whispered. It was a child's voice, but it sounded like it was coming from inside a well. "Auntie, why didn't you put sugar? It's too sour. Please, talk to us. We are so lonely. Titi squeezed her eyes shut. Don't talk, don't look. Rule number 2. Auntie, look at my new dress, the voice said, right in her ear. Titi could feel a freezing cold breath on her neck. It smelled like stagnant water and old lilies. It's the one they buried me in. Don't you like the lace? Titi bit her lips so hard she tasted blood. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run to the door and kick it down. But she thought of Obina. She thought of her mother's cough. 2 million naira. Anki, why are you looking at the floor? A second voice joined in. This one was a boy's voice, but it had a strange rattling sound, like he had stones in his throat. The floor is boring. There are no pictures on the floor. You should look up. There's a giant spider on the ceiling. It has a face just like yours. Titi's neck muscles stiffened. The urge to look up was like a physical pull. It was as if a magnet was attached to her forehead, trying to yank her head toward the darkness of the ceiling. Look up, Titi, the voices chanted in a chilling harmony. Look up and see the face. Look up and join the game. Look up, look up. The table suddenly flipped over with a violent crash. The bowls shattered against the wall. The house began to shake as if an earthquake was hitting only that one room. And then, the worst sound of all, something heavy began to crawl across the ceiling. Screech, screech, screech. It was right above her head, and it was breathing. A thick black liquid dripped from the ceiling and landed right on Titi's hand. It was warm, it was sticky, and it smelled like a slaughterhouse. Titi began to cry silently, her eyes still glued to the floor. God, I beg, Sapa is bad, but I didn't know the alternative was this. The scratching stopped. Everything went silent. Then a soft, familiar voice drifted down from the corner of the room. Titi, Titi, is that you? Help me. The ceiling is so tight. I can't breathe. Titi's heart stopped. It was her mother's voice. Does Titi look up to save her mother? Is it really her mother, or is the ceiling monster playing tricks on her? And what happens when the clock hits midnight? Stick around to find out. We will see you next week, hopefully.